Hello and welcome to this project. In this project, the main mission is convert this simple axe to something similar like Nordic battle axe. Okay, so the workflow is like creating all the details in Substance Painter with displacement modeling, which means we can add details and control the vertices inside Substance Painter with the height channel and the mask and etc. And at the end, I'm going to show you how can we transfer the data that we create in Painter in displacement modeling to a low poly model. So I have two versions of this model. Both of them are very simple. And as you can see, this is the version that we are going to work on that in Substance Painter. And the density of the vertices and the topology is very good for this purpose. And the other one is the low poly model that we are going to use in the real-time engine, for example, in Unreal Engine or Unity. So we have two different versions of one model. This is going to Substance Painter, and we are going to make details and put all the data on this version. And after that, with some woo-woo action and transfer all the data from that version to the low poly one without any extra work. So that's it. This is the main reference that we are going to follow that. Okay, I'm going to put that in my second monitor, and let's clear all the data in the screen. And as you can see, unwrap for this version, it's like this. But in the final version, in low poly, we are going to change the UV and fill up all the space in UV space. So in this way, we can increase the quality of the texture and we can use the maximum space for our texture. So it's important to have a solid and straight UV for the handle part for the version that we are going to use in Substance Painter. And after that, we can transfer all the data to the model that we are going to use as a low poly model with this kind of UV packing. And we can break the UV island to the smaller part to fill up all the UV space and texture space. So this is for the end. And now I just want to show you what is the process in overall. So let's go and export this model and start the project in Substance Painter. So everything is clear here. We can use weighted normal to create a smooth surface. So that's it. And now we should make sure we just have one material on the model. Okay, I'm going to give this material NordicAxe to this model. And let's export it. I'm going to export it as a FX file. Okay, now in the FVX export window, we just need to make sure a smoothing group is turned on and the other option should be turned off for this workflow. So let's check this. Okay, we don't have camera, light, or anything else. Okay, and the unit is automatic on centimeter, so everything is okay. And let's export this model to Substance Painter. And we are going to load FX file in Painter and start our process over there. Okay, let's start the process inside Substance Painter. I just click and drag the FX file inside Substance, and the new project window comes up. The template should be on ASM or Adobe Standard Material. Document resolution should be on 1K for the start. It's okay. The normal format is DirectX. It's okay for me. And the other options here should be on the same. Okay, let's press OK, and we just waiting for load the model. The UV is okay. The set list is NordicAxe. it's okay. Let's go to the baking mode. And in here, I just need to turn on bends normal. And we don't have any high poly model. So we just click use low poly mesh as high poly mesh. And in here, in anti-aliasing, I'm going to set 64x super sampling. And that's it. We just need to change the output size to 4K and press this little blue button, bake selected textures. And after that, we can continue our process. Now our mesh maps are ready, and let's start the process and do the other things. For example, in set setting, I need ambient occlusion. I don't need any opacity inside this project, so I'm going to escape adding this channel. And here, as you can see, everything is okay. And let's go for the shader setting. Okay, in the shader setting, I'm going to change the specular quality to medium. And let's turn on double-sided geometry. And that's it. And in a displacement and tessellation setting, I just need to add 0.05 for scale. And we can bring up the subdivision count, for example, to something like 10, because we already have the enough density for creating our displacement on the surface. So if you want, you can increase the subdivision count, but it depends on your hardware. Okay, so let's go for the display setting. For the display setting, I'm going to change the environment map to Studio Tomoko and increase the environment exposure to 1. And let's change the tune mapping function from linear to aces. Okay, and that's enough for this section. And let's change the focal length from 70 to something like 80. Yeah. Now I have the best viewport in the world. Okay, now I have everything that I want inside the viewport. So let's go for the creating the first layer. I'm going to call it base layer. And let's bring back the properties window here. That's it. And as you can see, we have the default data for each channel in base layer. Okay, it's time to create the strategy and creating folder and categories for starting our process. So let's create 2 folders at the first. I'm going to call this wood handle, and for this metal blade or head. I think head is better word that we can use here. Okay, and let's create the mask. That's it. Okay, I'm going to use the polygon fill for the mask, and let's add another paint layer for wood handle. And now we can see we have the mask inside Substance Painter and in the folders. So let's add 2 fill layer. For the first one, let's call red, and we can duplicate this, put it in metal head, and change the color to something like blue. Okay, where is the start point for us? Now I'm going to create different layers with different amounts in height channel to create the displacement for the handle section. After that, we are going to create the pattern for the metal head inside Photoshop with using Photoshop plugin and transfer the mask and the layers to the Photoshop and create the mask over there. And now we can bring back all the data from Photoshop to Substance Painter and use it in the right way. So for the start point, let's create the layers for the wood handle.